Salutations, I'm Critique and this is Phoenotopia, a 2014 Flash 2D platformer developed by Kwang H. Tran, aka Quells. The game is hosted on a number of sites such as Newgrounds and One More Level, and playing it is absolutely free. As a side note, I would like to add that Quells has a dev blog that he usually updates on a monthly basis with posts about an upcoming remake and sequel. You can check out the blog at Phoenotopia.com. Moving on, if you haven't played this game yet, I highly recommend that you do so, because it is probably my favorite Flash game in existence, and you should be completely prepared to view this walkthrough so that it doesn't spoil you. As an additional disclaimer, I am hyperlexic, which means that I have a harder time explaining things verbally than in written form, a case in point being that I'm reading this entire introduction off of a script. Nonetheless, I decided to record this video tutorial series in hopes that others may want to speedrun this wonderful game like I do. The primary basis for this is that I've heard talk that some, if not most people, prefer tutorials in video form as opposed to written form. Speaking of written form, I do have a full written guide linked in the description if that helps as well. You may also want to check the speedrun.com page of this game, along with any other resources that can be found through that page, such as a loot duping guide that provides an in-depth explanation of a particular glitch in the game. Setting that aside for now, I suppose I should talk about the difference between the two main categories of the game. At least, there are two at the moment, but I might consider adding all medals as a third main category. Any percent simply means beating the game as fast as possible, whereas 100% involves getting the collection rate at the end credits to say 100%. It's not necessarily full completion, considering you don't need extra bag attachments, extra HP obtained by consuming chocolate protein shakes, or even the lamp, as highly as I would recommend it. Rather, the collectibles obtained in 100% are 23 Heart Rubies, 42 Moonstones, Blood Ring, Nebula Armlet, Lucky Belt, Ancient Armor, Key Spear Technique Scroll, and oddly enough, unlocking the Mystery Bento in Dea adds 1% to the collection rate. In addition to obtaining all that, you also had to beat the game, that is, to initiate the credit sequence. As for the rules, 1. Timing starts when selecting Yes to start a new file from a fresh slot. 2. Timing ends on the screen fade to initiate the final cutscene. 3. Collection rate proof is required for a 100% run to be valid. And 4. Glitching to skip the opening cutscene is not allowed. To show you what I mean by the last point, let me boot up a file and demonstrate real quick. This is what I mean. If you die in an already loaded file, use the Quit to Main menu option and start a new file. Gale will spawn in her room, flashing as if she has taken damage, with 20 HP and the green bracelet, as if the opening cutscene is already finished. As the currently sole moderator of the Speedrun.com leaderboard for this game, I decided to disallow this for two main reasons. 1. The opening cutscene is no more than 20 seconds of mashing through text, and 2. The glitch would provide unwelcome complication in starting a run. Perhaps another question worth answering is, why 100% and not any percent? Well, even though I started with any percent before I considered getting into 100%, I've come to realize that 100% is not that much longer of a category and is arguably more newcomer friendly. Another reason is because of stamina boosts. In any percent, you would normally want to stay under the effects of a stamina boost from an E-soda, power potion, or honey related item for a majority of the run. In 100% on the other hand, there are only a few particular instances of stamina boosting throughout the run due to the increased importance of inventory management and, to a lesser extent, budgeting. Why does this all matter? Well, stamina boosts are limited in that they usually last 1 or 2 minutes, and they are vital in that they make Gale 20% faster horizontally and double her stamina regeneration rate, so, well, it just becomes harder to explain as I go along. Anyway, without further ado, I shall cast aside this script and get started. Starts off point and click, but when you start a new game here, it takes you into a cutscene, which you press X to mash through the text. See, now that wasn't so bad, was it? Use the arrow keys to move, Z to jump, use up to enter doors, up and down to climb ladders. But this form of movement is slow, so why not do this instead? You jump up a ladder, it's 1.5 times faster than just normally climbing up. So, you go over here and trigger a little cutscene thing. And then head out the right exit, so that you can talk to this guy, and unlock Duri Forest on the world map. If you don't follow this step, you won't be able to access Duri Forest. So you enter this building, push the metal box, not all the way, but so that you can jump onto this and grab the wooden bat, which is the primary melee weapon in the game. Though we will be replacing it soon enough. Not in this part, though. Maybe the next. So what you want to do next is grab a box here, place it on the pressure plate, and then grab Moonstone number 1. Then, walk over to this box, equip the wooden bat, and you don't have to destroy the box. You can just hit it like this from a distance, and then you got a little ledge that you can climb up, which makes things easier. And then this is just exiting the area. Now here you can pull a little difficult strat where you grab onto the ladder in midair, jump, and midair attack. Then you hit the switch quickly without losing any momentum. It is a really difficult strategy, trust me. Like sometimes you grab onto the ladder multiple times, sometimes you barely fall short with your melee attack. But it saves a few frames compared to the traditional method. So this is Duri Forest. Climb up the leaves. You can jump straight from this leaf to that ledge instead of having to like climb up here, which is what I thought you had to do, but now I'm convinced otherwise. So you can do that, or you can actually just do something more simple and jump like that. I usually do the latter, but I think the one with jumping onto the middle platform is a viable strat. So for this place, well, usually you either take damage or force yourself to lose momentum. Like, normally the strat I would go for is going down here and then jumping over, but actually, if you jump on the very edge of this platform, you should be able to avoid the caterpillar and the Duri Fruit at the same time. See if I can demonstrate it. This might take a while. Like that. It's a really difficult jump, and I think it's pixel perfect. And that water you don't want to touch just yet, because Gale is not able to swim initially, but she will gain the ability later. And it's not even swimming. You'll find out. So then keep going to the right. If you want, you can break this pot for healing. And all the way to the right, there is a cutscene here. Just mash through it. No reason to not say yes. And get the slingshot. So this is the first tool that you obtain. It allows you to like stun things and hit things at a distance. It bounces 3 times before disappearing. So you aim it at this switch up here and you can enter the dungeon. This is where you will fight the first boss. So just avoid these slimes here. Let this frog jump over you. Hit the switch at a distance. Then jump and hit this switch. The jump that you want to do here is not necessarily a short hop, because like if you do a short hop, like a pure short hop, then you'll get landing lag. But if you jump at the right height, you can hit the switch but not get landing lag. Hit the other switch at a distance, repeat the procedure, yada yada yada. Avoid this frog and the bats. So when you climb up here, the quickest way to hit that switch is to stand at some distance, not too far but not too close, and then press C twice quickly. Then the round will bounce onto the switch. Now moving on, this is a little trick shot where you rebound off of this wall and hit the switch over there. So now, what you want to do is break this Duri Fruit cluster by dropping a box there and climbing up here. Smack it 5 times. This will be helpful for later, trust me. Destroy this frog with a charge attack. Alright, now. The thing about entering this doorway, if you're not holding left, the bat will detect you. But if you hold left, it won't. You want to place a box on the switch, avoid the bat, kill the slime, hit the box, and proceed. Destroy the box. If it's metal, you just hit it away. But most likely it's going to be wooden. So you move on to this area, which is at the bottom right corner of the lambda-shaped room here. And you step on the pressure plate so you can move forward. Now see that box over there? There's a toad just after it, and if you throw the box at the toad, it will clean Oko, unlike the wooden bat. Unlike a regular hit with the wooden bat. So grab the box, throw it, boom. Next you want to hit this key off the little pedestal thing using a slingshot. This is unusual. For me it's kind of difficult to hit. Like, you might overshoot and hit one of the frogs, but then they start jumping at you because, you know, that's how it works. But at that moment I kind of improvised and used the charge attack thing. Normally, like, you would... like when you provoke the frogs, it's at a time where you can stand here and they'll jump over you, and you fire a charge attack over here to repeat the same thing again for the next frog. But yeah, I keep calling them frogs even though they're toads. Don't mind me. You want to kill these slimes. This is important. Now here we encounter the first instance of a glitch that I call Loot Duping. If you take a container full of money or hearts and throw it while the tip of Gale's front foot is 64 to 66 in-game pixels, 192 to 198 computer pixels in the standard 900 by 600 window, from a right corner at ground level, or 63 to 65 in-game pixels, 189 to 195 computer pixels from a left corner, the container will collide with the wall and the floor at the same time, which makes the container produce twice as much spoils as normal. Twice as much of its spoils as normal. So either stand here, here, or here. And you get 60 rye from this chest, as opposed to the original 30. So that's all you need from this room. So, want to go to the top left area of the lambda-shaped room. Grab a box here. Take the key, stand on the pressure plate to where the barricade is just high enough that you can squeeze through it with the box over your head. Climbing up this tree, set the box aside, and hit this fruit out of the way. Now what we're going to do here is to take 4 boxes and create a little staircase leading up to that little entrance there in the top left. Like, normally you would need the javelin or the hover boots to get up there, but we could skip that and just like get it early, and that's much faster. Like, it's faster even if you factor in the potential, even if you factor in a potential stamina boost from backtracking after getting the Mikan fruit. So if you don't get it, like, later on you're gonna want a consumable Duri Fruit, like something, or a Duri Fruit that you can keep in your inventory. This will allow you to get an item later. So you want to check all the fruits that you can. If you still don't have it yet, well, that's fine. Just wait until the backtrack. Oh yeah, I also want to tell something about landing lag. Like, if you fall from above a certain height, then Gale goes through a landing lag animation. Or if you fall from below, no landing lag. If you fall from exactly that height, no landing lag. But if you're in the middle of a mid-air attack animation and you fall from above that height, no landing lag. If you fall from below and do the same thing, landing lag. But if you fall from the exact height, no landing lag. So, yeah, in a way, mid-air attacking before falling to the ground kind of reverses the mechanics of landing lag. But like, if you fall from the magic height, which is 128 in-game pixels or 384 computer pixels, then you don't get landing lag regardless. Anyway, so if you do this correctly, you should be able to just jump up here. And we're on track to Heart Ruby number 1. Just keep holding left until you fall off the bookshelf, destroy the 2 pots, fire a slingshot at a switch off screen, that activates alternating binary platforms that you can climb up. Just keep climbing. And then you make it to these boxes. This top box here contains a heart ruby, and that is heart ruby number 1. Now ideally, if you jump and attack, then you shouldn't get any landing lag. That's if you do a full jump. And then you just if you do a full jump and do a mid-air attack just in time, and then melee 3 more times, and you should be able to get that as quickly as possible. And then just keep moving on these shelves and avoiding the fish. Okay. So normally you'd want to head over to the top right, but like, I'm gonna take 2 boxes with me. I will specify the reason later. Or soon. So here I'm about to demonstrate another glitch known as door pushing. If you have one container on bottom and another container or a bomb slightly forward on top, and you push them into a key door, the key door moves with the duo. But it will stop eventually, for the most part, but there are occasions where I'm trying to enter this door without touching the key door, because, like with this, I have 2 keys, right? If I were to collide with that door, I would have only 1 key, and that wouldn't be good, because, like, we're trying to pass the 3rd key door for more loot. That's the thing. There's a chest on the other side of the 3rd key door. Anyway, I guess that's... So if you do this right, you can do a little short hop, kill the bat, and jump over the caterpillar, and that's the fastest way to go over there. And I got lucky doing it on my first try. So what you want to do here is grab the metal box, place it on the far edge right here, so that some of it is poking off of this little edge here. Killing the slimes is optional, but it makes the backtrack faster. Stand up here, and if you fire the slingshot just right, climb up here. I didn't fire it just right. Then the barricade should move, and you can, and you want to proceed all the way to the left. This is where you find Moonstone number 2. Fire the slingshot at the cluster, fire at the resulting fruit, and there it is, Moonstone number 2. So then just backtrack. That was weird. Like I was thinking I would have my head stop at that ceiling. Do the same thing as before. Just climb up there. Alright, here we go. This is the 3rd key door. And in here, a bunch of toads will be lying in wait. So you want to stop right over here, ready a charge attack and fire, and then jump away from this toad, stand about here, charge attack. This one is tough. Like if you're too far forward, you'll get bumped into. And if you're too far back, you fall in the water and take damage. And then just kill these 2. Sometimes you can get a charge attack off, but it's really rare. So here is Loot Dupe number 2. I'm going to do it from here, here. I'm trying to get the other pixel positioning. Here? Yeah. So you should have about 140 at this point. Because it normally gives 40, but with loot duping you get 80. So this would be the right time to talk about a little side effect of loot duping. Like if you break a container multiple times on the same frame, then another random object on the next screen will disappear. And for that reason, if you were to enter the boss room and kill the boss, then one of the crates on the right required to progress will disappear. So to prevent that, you can enter this room, and then the effect will be canceled, or applied to that room. And that's faster than having to backtrack to the boss entrance and whatnot, which you would have to do otherwise. Anyway, so here's the first boss. Pretty self-explanatory. And here's Heart Ruby number 2, which is dropped by the boss. Proceed to the right. Because see, one of these two boxes, the ones on the right, will disappear if you were to just enter the boss room and not, like, transfer the effects of the... Well, I would call it Case of the Missing Prop, or CMP, into the other room. So yeah, here's what you went through Duri Forest for. Some sort of shooting star thing. No, it's a golem's head. Better take it back to Alex. And so you get transported to the entrance of the dungeon, and go over here. Another cutscene. Oh no, villagers are being abducted. Sorry, I had to take a drinking break. Water, of course. So then you want to exit the forest, but not before you go down here. And this is where you perform Loot Dupe number 3. Now it's either... Well, this is the main positioning that I go with. You see the blade of grass to the bottom right of Gale's vest? Well, you want that to be, you want the corner of the vest to be 1, 2, or 3 pixels away. And that should give you 30 instead of 15. The reason why you do this loot dupe after and not before the Duri Forest dungeon is because, like, on the backtrack all the enemies are gone. That's just it. Like, there would usually be, like, 1 frog and 2 slimes guarding the chest. Such a bother. Oh, right. I kind of forgot. Like, if you do not have a Duri Fruit in your inventory, you're going to want to look for any hanging Duri Fruits. Not in clusters, because those do not drop consumables. Like, more like these. Still no? Man, RNG is just not on my side right now. Okay, got one. Like, if at this point you still don't have a Duri Fruit, you're going to have to exit to the world map and come back. And then just keep farming until you find a Duri Fruit. Once again, it's for an item later on. So when you get back to Panselo, you want to enter this house. And this is where you can find a chest that normally contains 25, but we'll dupe it for 40. Pixel positionings are here, here, and here. Then get out of here. Keep heading right. By the way, I am also reading information on glitches and tricks from a script as well. Because, like, it's hard to explain loot duping on the fly. So this is another loot dupe for 30. Positionings are here. I don't remember quite. Is it? I'll just go with the one I know. You can check the loot duping guide for all the positionings and whatnot. So you climb up this house and talk to Alex. 3 text boxes. If you're mashing too fast, you get a melee attack off, and it kind of wastes a few frames. And then go into the right entrance of Gale's house and go left into another cutscene trigger. This is where you present the golem head to Alex, and then you go on an adventure to investigate just what is the purpose of this darn thing. Search for a golem expert and whatnot. Then get some rest. Climb up here, enter this exit. Like, you are going right, but the reason why you don't just like why you don't just go all the way to the right exit is because look at this interior. It's so freaking like there's so much space, but like there's like half the distance outside. So anyway, you want to talk to Alex again, 2 text boxes, and learn of the location of Sunflower Road, which is where we're going next. But before that, let's enter the dojo, and then climb up here. We're performing another loot dupe. Positioning's over here. Here, and here. And then buy the rolling technique scroll. Preferably before you collect the spoils, because it's faster that way. Then also buy a chocolate protein shake, because along with the Duri Fruit, that's also required for an item later on. And then you climb up here and roll into here for Heart Ruby number 3. Well, I don't know. Landing lag canceling I think is a bit inconsistent. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Like, I can't explain the time it didn't work like that. But, yeah, that's what should happen. Anyway, that about covers it for this part. I'll go ahead and use this save statue here. À la prochaine.